Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on when you finish saving the world, starring Finn Wolfhard, who looks kind of different. He's really growing into a different version of his looks, and Julianne Moore as his mom, kind of a mother and son drama about growing up and relationships in high school and in adulthood and parenting and the internet. And it's a Sundance movie. It's very indie, seemingly so, even though it has these big stars. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links are in the description. Now, here's Little Joan. There she is. Anyhow, and this actor, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. He plays the dad. Written for the screen and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. So that's cool. Glad to see him doing this. He's not in it, which is probably a good thing. I mean, he's been in plenty of stuff, right? So Julianne Moore has to help this kid because she's a counselor of some kind. And he's too nice and too thoughtful to his mother, who I guess is, I'm going to guess, kind of messed up. And at the same time, her own son is drifting away. He's in love with this girl and trying to impress her, but he's not having much luck. So in the process, they are growing apart, but then there's drama, and then I think they come back together. You know, it's about parenting and stuff. So like, there's a scene where his father asks him, I read an article about teen suicide. Are you okay? Kind of thing. Which isn't bad. I mean, that's pretty good. And Julianne Moore seems sufficiently tone deaf as his mother. The one thing I'll say is the girl who plays the love interest, she's the one who's in the politics, and it's very left. And it kind of comes off as like, oh, yeah, he'll get it eventually, kind of thing, but whatever. So I wouldn't watch this for the politics, but the drama looks good. I mean, he's definitely a bit of a cringe teenager. He's writing songs. He's on the internet. He has a show. Julianne Moore can't understand why her son isn't the same anymore. And, it's a pretty standard drama A24 puts out when you finish saving the world. So, let's get this. All right. So first act, he's going to high school, and his mother is got her own deal, and he's changing, but she can't understand why he's changing. And even though she counsels teenagers, the ironic thing is she can't seem to get a grasp on her own son. He's in love with some girl at school. He's trying to get his YouTube videos, he's got 20,000 followers. That's pretty good. He's trying to launch his music career, whatever, while he's trying to get with this girl who's really into politics. Second act, things kick up. Julianne Moore has to deal with another kid who seemingly reminds her of her son, and but he's like doting on his mother, who doesn't appreciate it. They kind of have the opposite relationship. Finn Wolfhard sort of pulling away from his mom, and the other kid can't pull away. And I think the character arc for her is she's going to come to realize that the other kid should do what her son's doing. He should go and find himself and not dote on his mother. And that she is kind of doing the wrong thing by, saying, oh, you're such a good kid, you're so empathetic, and you're so kind and wonderful, and you're treating your mom so nice. And in one scene, she gives him a hat that her son doesn't want to wear anymore. So she comes to understand, kids have to grow up. And then at some point, Finn Wolfhard comes to understand that, he doesn't hate his mom, but, he's just changing and growing up, and he's got his own sort of path to forge, and it's just a coming of age kind of thing, but done in a more dramatic indie movie way. So that whole second act is all the drama and stuff builds up. The third act, can't really tell what comes to a head here. Probably, I'm going to say both two different things. So it'll be Julianne Moore realizing she has to let go of not only the kid she's counseling, who he has to grow up like her son, and that she has to understand that, yeah, So she kind of turns a corner, I think, and says to the other woman, yeah, no, your son, you're doing the right thing. You should sort of push your son to work on his own, kind of thing. And at the same time, Finn Wolfhard, I don't know, he gets with the girl, I guess, or realizes that he doesn't need her and that he can kind of forge his own way, or he embarrasses himself and ends up with a different girl. So it looks all right, I guess. I don't know. Seems a little boring. Finn Wolfhard is rocking the long hair again. He looks a lot like Mike, although again his face seems to be growing into his face a little differently than expected. So I don't know how much longer he keeps rocking the long hair. I think he ought to change it up. I mean, I get it. That's kind of his image. And it's not a bad image. I'm not knocking it, but when you're playing different characters, I think you should try to have different looks. But he's relatively new, although he's pretty famous. I mean, a lot of people have seen Stranger Things. He's been in a few other movies, in the Ghostbusters movie. I mean, he's having a good career already. So I think he can afford to change up his look a little bit, and I think he probably should have. But it may be that the movie makers wanted this look because it's quick. They're like, oh, there's Mike from Stranger Things. I'm going to watch this movie. And I don't know how much longer you can keep playing teenagers. Probably another few years, but that's about it. Julianne Moore is great. Always good. Very mom-like in this movie. Definitely changed her look, but she's gotten older. And so she's using that to her advantage. Oh, God. This actor's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's good for that role, the dad. And I don't know her, but she seems fine. Yeah, it all seems all right. So it's called When You Finish Saving the World. When's this coming out? That's a good question. Let's see. Do we have it coming soon? Oh, maybe they don't have distribution. So, oh wait, here it is. January 2023. So this is a small, dramatic movie directed and written by Jesse Eisenberg that, if he's lucky, comes out in January during a dead time of year, but enough people go see it that it tops the movies for that month. That's the risk. But nobody's going to see movies, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it looks fine. I think it seems to be well made. Worst case scenario, I suppose it ends up on the IFC and Amazon Prime or something, and people watch it there. But seems fine. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. I will be at Krampus on Saturday, and I'm going to be on a podcast on Thursday. Look for a thing in my Twitter feed. Should be fun. All right, we'll see you in the next one.